All right, welcome everyone. We're about to jump into some really crucial research from Dr. Sudheendra S G. And this is specifically for all you educators and the next generation of media professionals out there. Think of this as your guide to making sense of the absolute information storm we're all living in.
So let's just start with a really simple question. Think about it for a second. Did you believe everything you saw or read online yesterday? Your answer, whatever it is, actually tells us a lot about how our minds try to cope with this constant flood of headlines, memes, and updates. It's a daily battle for the truth, and it's happening right inside your head. This one idea right here, this is the key to everything we're going to talk about. Our brains are hardwired for efficiency. It's a survival thing, right? It helps us make fast decisions. But in today's world, where news moves at the speed of a click, that same efficiency, well, it's become a huge liability.
So let's explore these shortcuts. We're going to break down the automatic processes our brains are using every single day, often without us even knowing it. Because if we don't get how our own minds work, we're basically sitting ducks for misinformation.
First up is something called a schema. The easiest way to think about this is like your brain's software programming. It creates these little mental habits to run common tasks automatically, just so it can save up its energy for the big stuff.
And here is a perfect example, especially in the Indian context. That first thing in the morning check of crick bars or that mindless swipe through WhatsApp statuses on your way to work, you don't really consciously decide to do it every time, do you? It just happens. That is a schema in action.
Okay, so another powerful shortcut is our brain's absolute hatred of a vacuum. You give it an incomplete story, and it has this incredibly powerful, instinctual need to fill in the missing pieces. It has to make the picture make sense. We call this pattern completion. So let me ask you this. You see a headline. It just says, Virat breaks record. Who instantly pops into your head? For millions of us, it's Kohli, right? That's your brain completing the pattern. It jumps to the most familiar answer, even if the headline was actually about a completely different Virat in some other field. It all happens in a split second.
But this gap-filling thing, it can go a step further into something way more convincing and, frankly, kind of dangerous. When our brains invent details to complete a story, we can actually adopt them as genuine memories. And the wild part is, they feel completely real to us.
Just think back to the early days of the pandemic. So many people felt like they'd heard from a reliable source that hot water could cure COVID. That wasn't a real memory. It was basically manufactured by simple, constant repetition in family WhatsApp groups until it just felt true.
Now, all these mental shortcuts we've been talking about, the schemas, the pattern completion, they don't just happen in isolation. They create and they reinforce our biases. And these biases act like invisible filters that literally shape everything we see and believe online.
And this is confirmation bias in its purest form. Just look at this. You have one single event, a new government policy. But as you can see, two people can look at that exact same piece of information and see completely opposite things. Why? Because they're just confirming what they already believe.
And today, technology just pours fuel on this fire. This is basically the digital version of confirmation bias. The algorithm figures out what you like, and then it just feeds you more and more of it, creating an echo chamber that reinforces your views on everything from politics to, even cooking. So on top of biases, there's another powerful force we have to talk about. Our brains are fundamentally wired for stories. We are absolute suckers for a good narrative. But this love for a story can be exploited, simplifying complex things so much that they become distorted. Take demonetization, for instance. A massive, incredibly complex event was basically flattened into two simple opposing stories. Was it a masterstroke or was it economic chaos? The real story, of course, was way more nuanced than that. But a simple good versus evil narrative is always just easier for our brains to process and accept.
Okay, so we get it. Our brains can be tricked. The big question, especially for all of you who are going to be shaping our media landscape, is what do we do about it? How do we build up the mental muscles to actually fight back?
This table right here is your practical guide. It connects every single one of those cognitive traps we've talked about to a direct, actionable response. So for the automatic reactions caused by our schemas, the response is simple. Pause and verify. For our brain's need to fill in the gaps, the solution is to actively go find the full context before you decide anything.
Now, to put all of this into practice, you need the right tools.
So let's look at the essential resources that every media student, educator, and professional in India should have bookmarked and ready to go.
These organizations are really on the front lines. Alt News and Boom Live are incredible for debunking viral misinformation. PIB Fact Check is absolutely essential for verifying anything coming from the government. And PRS gives you neutral, data-driven clarity on complicated policies. They provide the verification you need. Seriously, if you remember nothing else from all of this, let it be these 3 things. Number 1, recognize that your brain is built for shortcuts. Number 2, build the habit of pausing and verifying before you share. And number 3, actively diversify your sources. That's it. That is the foundation of media literacy.
And we're going to end on a challenge for you. Because media literacy isn't just about protecting yourself, it's a responsibility we all have. As communicators, as educators, it is on us to share these skills. So think about the people in your own life. What one skill will you make sure to share with them this week?